Good afternoon, everyone. This is Debbie Henderson from Debbie's Designs. Welcome to my afternoon tea time and a card. I'm just going to give it a few seconds. I can see you guys all jumping on. Welcome. So I haven't done an afternoon tea time and a card since the virus started because I tried to keep you guys all busy with my Stamp With Me classes. So now I have decided to go back to my afternoon tea time and a card. So I'm going to try to do that once a week. Hello, everyone. So today, while everybody's jumping on, I just want to do a couple reminders. This is my hostess code for the month of August, where you earn some free Stampin' Up! Products from me when you place an order. And also, 5 days remain to join in on my Merry Christmas Card Club. A lot of you guys have joined in already. I'm actually featuring the Dove of Hope stamp set for my card club, along with the detailed dove dies. Now, I'm just going to show you the card that I've already showed everyone, which is one of the cards you'll be getting a kit for. This is the beautiful card. I love the die cut dove. And I'm actually, because you guys, I interact with you quite a bit on this group page, I'm going to show you one of the bonus cards. And the bonus cards is actually something that I give extra in my tutorial that you create with your the products that you receive in your card kits. This one does not have a card kit. You create it on your own with the directions that I give you. But it's such a pretty card that I wanted to show it to you. So this is what the front looks like. And again, this is the bonus card. It actually opens up like this. And then like this. And you have 3 panels. Look how beautiful this is. And you can actually stand it up this way so you can see the sentiment. So again, you have until the 24th to sign up for my Merry Christmas Card Club. I'm shortening up the registration period now to give me extra time because I have so many people that join. Okay, so let's get started for today. Today I am featuring the Gnome for the Holidays stamp set. Now this stamp set does not have die cuts to go with it. So I am going to do a little bit of fussy cutting today. And I wanted to also show you the designer paper that I'm using, which is Trimming the Town. It's beautiful paper. I love this one here. I don't even want to cut because it's so pretty. But look at all the nice patterns. I'm going to go through them one at a time in case you haven't purchased it yet. And for those of you guys that did my designer paper share, I mailed those out last Friday. So you should be getting your packages this week. This one has little snowflakes. Look how cute this one is. I'm going to bring it close so you can see. They're a little bunch of peoples. They're peoples. I love that. Diagonal stripes. And we get the wreath. This one is kind of neat because it has the different languages for Deck the Halls. I'm trying to see what else is on there. Peace on Earth is another. Dashing Through the Snow. And it's got different languages on there. Pretty neat. This one here is really pretty. I love all these houses. And of course we got stripes. This is the one I'm using today. I'm using the polka dot side. And it also has a side with all the trees on it. So very, very fabulous paper. And if you're looking for any of that in the mini catalog, just so you know, the stamp set is on page 23. And the designer paper is on page 25. Now you'll notice one thing that I do quite frequently, even though this is featured with the Trimming the Town suite, I'm mixing it in with this stamp set. You don't have to just use what's on this page that coordinates together. That's what's good about a lot of our designer paper. Okay, ready for the card? I am actually doing a Slimline card today, which is a longer card fold. And this is the card we're going to be creating. Isn't that cute? Look at these cute little fellas here. And then I have another project I'm going to show you later that coordinates with this. So let me go ahead and give you all of the layers we're going to use. For the card base, I'm using Pool Party. Oh, I can see a lot of hearts going by. You guys love the card. Pool Party 8.5 by 7.5, scored at 3 3/4. And then we have Whisper White 8.25 by 3.5. Designer paper, which is the one I just showed you, 8 by 3 1/4. A scrap piece of white for stamping. Now, because I had to fussy cut all of these, I went ahead and done them ahead of time, but I do need one more that I'm going to do with you for the second project I'm going to show you. And then we need 3 pieces of Pool Party cardstock, 2 1/4 by 2 1/4, 3 pieces of white, 2 inches by 2 inches. So quite a few layers there. I'm using Memento Tuxedo Black ink, and I'm using some new ribbon, the Real Red, let me see what it's called, I can't remember. Real Red Sheer Ribbon. And you can see how pretty that is. You can see through it. Okay, so let's get started on creating the card. So I do need one more of these, and I'm gonna go ahead and stamp one. I just thought I'd save one so that anyone that's new to stamping can watch me stamp. We're using Memento Black. I'm going to go ahead and stamp. And now we have lots of coloring to do. And I thought it would be neat for me to color a little bit closer so you guys can see. With the Facebook Live videos, the camera tends to focus on movement. So sometimes if I'm coloring down here, it does go a little fuzzy because of the movement. I'm going to bring in a black box and lots of colors. So these are all stamping blends. Granny Apple, light and dark. Real Red, light and dark. I'm trying to see if that black box is going to cause a glare. I think I'm going to grab a piece of white paper to put on there. Hold on. I think this will be a little bit better so it doesn't glare on you. Okay, so let's keep going. Smoky Slate, light and dark. Pool Party, light and dark. Mango Melody, light and dark. Cinnamon Cider, light and dark. Ivory, and then Basic Black, light. So you're gonna have to watch me color all of these little critters here, but they're really quick to color. I'm gonna see if I can add this right in here so you guys can see. I'm gonna start out with Pool Party. And I'm just going to do every other stripe on this one. And I'm not going to actually shade this guy. We're going to do his little stocking feet. And let's see, I'm going to do Granny Apple Dark. And I'm just going to add under the beard where there would be a shadow. And then I'm going to bring in the light to add a little bit of blending. Now remember, when the colors meet, you should blend them together so that there's no line showing. Real Red, light. These are all little snippets that you have to color. It's really quick. We've got the ivory. And look at this guy. He's got a little sneaky eye right there. It's almost not even visible. It just barely peeks through under his little hat. He just looks a little sneaky to me. And then I'm going to use the light Smoky Slate. I'm going to color the whole beard and the mustache. And then what I'm going to do is take the dark, and I'm just going to swipe it here and there just to add some colors, like he's getting some highlights. There's his highlighted beard. And let's see, we've got a little bit on the bow. I hope you guys can see all of that. And then there's the green for the little mistletoe. Now this guy is a little sneaky. He has a mistletoe dropping down from his hat. I'm trying to catch all the little single ladies. Now let's go over to our little female. We're going to use the dark granny apple. Now for this one, what I did is I went under each little section that you see. That's where the shading would be. So I'm going to go under each little section, just like that. And then add the lighter color in. Blend where they meet. Because you don't want that definitive line showing. I'm trying very hard to keep my hands out of the way so you guys can see. Blend. Okay, now you can see, I'll bring this one in. You can see the light and dark shading when you do it that way. And by blending, you don't see those lines. Again, we're going to do the ivory for the face and the hands. And let's see, we're going to use cinnamon cider dark for her hair. We're not going to give her any highlights because there's very little hair showing. Next up is the dark real red. We're going to do her sleeves, her neckline. And I'm just realizing I should have worn my glasses. This is so tiny, I can hardly see it. Hopefully I'm doing a good job. I'm finding as I get older that I need my glasses more and more. Now this is dark mango melody. I had started out with her apron being white and it just needed a little bit of pop of color. That's why I'm adding this color in there. And her little shoes are just barely peeking out. So I'm using the light basic black. Now we got to do all of the little ornaments. So you can see there's a lot of detail on these images. Whoops, lots of coloring, but just very little space on each one. Okay, lastly, we've got the little tiny holly down here. Just gonna dab the berries. Okay, and there's that one. So there's two. So you just gotta watch me color one more, but they're gonna be the same color, so it's gonna go quick. Now the hat, I'm gonna start with the dark mango melody. I'm just gonna do the outside. And then I'm gonna come in, this was the dark. I'm gonna come in with the light, add in the center. These little guys just crack me up. They're so cute. I was never really a fan of gnomes, but they're so popular right now. And I call them gnomies, just to be funny. Okay, that was the ivory. Now I'm using the dark smoky slate for the jingle bell. Dark pool party for his little outfit that we really don't see much of. His little beard is taking over most of his features. And the light black for the, oops, wait a minute. That's not the black. Here's my black. The light black for the shoes. And let's see what else we've got. I forgot to do, he's got a little bit of skin showing. He didn't wear socks today. He's got a little bit of skin showing. And then lastly is the cinnamon cider. Now this is one of our newest ink colors. I really like this color. I've been using it quite a bit. We're going to color the whole beard and mustache like we did on the first guy. And we're going to give him some highlights also. So you're actually only going to have to watch me cut one of these. I really didn't think you'd want to watch me cut all four of these. I would be just like watching paint dry. Okay, now I'm just going to add some highlights so you can see how I just drag that through. I put some under the nose. And there's my little critters all ready. So let me go ahead and move this over. And we got coloring for one more. We're gonna have to do this little tree house here. So let me get one of my little white squares. We've got the little tree house. Because this is such a large image, I like to ink it facing upwards to make sure that I get good ink coverage. And I also want to make sure that the top of my image is way at the top, almost sticking out a little, so that it doesn't cut off there. It looks great because it blends in. So now we need to color this image. I'm going to start with my dark real red. I'm just going to add shading to the bottom and a little bit at the top. And again, I'm going to blend those together. So a lot of coloring today. Let me go ahead and do my little Christmas lights while I have this one out. Granny apple green for the leaves. They're so small, I'm not going to do any shading on these. And then a little bit on the grasses. Just some dark at the top, and then I'm going to do light on the bottom. And around the rocks, I'm just kind of tapping just to not color fully, just add color, like dotted color. Next is this my smoky slate? I can't even read this. Isn't that terrible? I should have worn my glasses. This is Smoky Slate Dark for the rocks. Mango Melody. These are all the darker ones. Pool Party. Then we need Smoky Slate again to color the tops of each Christmas bulb. And we need to add a little bit of light through the window. So I'm going to use the light Mango Melody. Make it look like somebody's home. And now all we should have left is the tree trunks. I'm going to start with the light this time. I'm going to color the whole thing. So for those of you that have never tried our stamping blends, these are fabulous markers. They color so good. A lot of my customers buy them. They're just really smooth to color with. Okay, I'm going to take the dark, and again, I'm just going to add some highlights. Pretty much where you see all the dark lines. And that's it. So now I can start assembling the card. We have most of the work is all done. So let's go ahead and fold on the score line. And I am going to go ahead and glue the Whisper White layer. Followed by the designer paper layer. And then before we glue all of the squares on there, I'm going to go ahead and add my ribbon. You can see that I tied it way over to the right, the left, I mean. And again, if you watch me quite often, I never cut my ribbon off the spool until I'm done with my bow. That way I don't waste any of my ribbon. So I'm going to go as far to the right as I can. This ribbon is really, really nice to work with. Now I'm going to make my loops a little smaller. Okay, there's my bow. ready to add our little squares. And I did glue them all down flat. Where's my snail? Okay, I gotta find all my pieces. There's my whites. And what I did is I started out here because I wanted to put this in there as tight as I could. And I can see that it's about 1/2 inch. So I'm gonna go ahead and add this about 1/2 inch over. I'm not gonna press hard in case it's crooked. Okay, I need to move over just a tad. My bow is a little bit more towards the inside as the first one. Okay, now let me go ahead and glue my white pieces down. And we're going to do the sentiment on this one first. Now this says Holly Jolly Everything. I'm just going to put that right in the center. Now the reason that I did the card size the way that I did is because I want this to fit in a number 10 envelope, which I'm going to show you next. Okay, so now we need all 3 of our little gnomies. And you know, you guys, we are so spoiled with our dies, but the fussy cutting on these is so easy if you need to cut them. We're gonna add him and her together. I gotta show you, look at the little smirk on her face. She just cracks me up. I wonder what she's thinking standing here beside this guy with that little smirk on her face. And this one is going to go right in between, beside the sentiment. So there's my card. Isn't that cute? I love all the layers. Now we need a coordinating envelope. So what I did is I used a number 10 envelope, and you could always stamp on the front with one of the little critters would be cute on there. I coordinated the flap. So all I did was grabbed a piece of designer paper, add adhesive to the flap. So you are turning a plain old number 10 envelope into a little bit more exciting envelope by coordinating the flap with the designer paper. So easy. And it only takes about maybe an 1.25 inch piece of your designer paper. Just cut around the flap. Look how quick that was. So now we have 2 coordinating flaps. And I thought it would be neat to also add a little treat holder to our projects. Very simple treat holder. Let me bring all the pieces in that I need. And this is all that I did. I used one of our mosaic gusseted cellophane bags. Let me dig one out. And you'll notice that they have the pre-printed pattern on the front, which is really cool. It's white. And here's the little critter. And I used him only because he's got his hands like this. So it makes it look like he's holding a sign, don't you think? Isn't that cute? So let me go ahead and cut him out, and then we'll do the other remaining pieces. It's so quick to make this with this pretty bag. So I'm just gonna cut around. I do leave a little bit of white space as I'm cutting. And like I said, they're really easy to cut around. Just make sure if you wear glasses that you bring them with you. I think I'm gonna be okay though. But like I said, we are so spoiled with our dies. Oh, and I did get my new Big Shot. It's not even called a Big Shot anymore. It's a die cutting and embossing machine. I'm going to try to show you that on the next class. I'm going to make sure I use it. I have it sitting right beside me. Actually, I could dig it out and show it to you. I haven't even used it yet because I was so busy with my designer paper shares And what else did I do? Oh, my Merry Christmas Club. Okay, this time I am using the Label Me Lovely punch, the Detailed Trio punch, and the Lovely Labels Pick-a-Punch. I'm going to go ahead and cut with Whisper White, and I'm also going to cut a second one with Pool Party. And what I did is I actually cut this with the flat side going horizontal. Actually, I need another one. I need 2 of these. I'm going to show you why. Now, what I did is I added adhesive on the fancy side, and I'm going to layer on each end. And because this is a tag, I wanted it to look pretty on the back side. It looks yucky right now. So I'm going to add a second piece to cover that yuckiness. There, doesn't that look much better? And then we're going to glue this little guy. Oh, before I do that, I'm going to use the Detailed Trio punch. I'm using this little oval right here to punch a little hole at the top. Let me turn this around so you guys can see what I'm doing. You have to go straight up on this one. I'm making sure that it's lined up the same on both ends. And there's my little hole. So now we can go ahead and glue our little Gnome down. Oh, I was supposed to tease you guys. I forgot. So there's little chocolate bars in my bag. I'm gonna bring them all out here and tease you guys with my chocolates. Okay, now this is the little sign that goes on the front. I'm using the Lovely Labels Pick-a-Punch, and I'm using the flat side. This is 1/2 inch wide, and let me see how long that is. I forget to. That is 2 3/4. I'm going to go ahead and push this in and make sure I peek down there to see that it's correct. Because sometimes when they're so little, they do shift a little bit. And this time we're going to use a little Christmas wish. I cut 2 out in case I mess this one up. Perfect. I don't need the other one. So now we're going to go ahead and add this to our little Gnome, and it's going to look like he's holding the sign. And I'm going to bring back all the projects out when I'm done too, in case you tuned in late. So let's put this right below his hands, so it does look like he's holding a sign. And lastly, I'm going to add all of the chocolate bars inside my bag. I'm going to bring in the red ribbon, thread that through the hole. So look how simple this little treat bag is. Now I need to tie a bow. I'm going backwards. Let me see if I can do this. I feel like I'm left-handed. Bring him to the front. Tie a bow. Let me make those loops a little smaller. And we're going to trim the ribbon. So look how quick this was. Okay, let me clear my area here so I can bring the projects back in. So there's the card I made with the coordinating envelope flap. And then the 2 little treat holders. So there's my projects for today. Again, using the Gnome for the Holidays stamp set. I hope you enjoyed my card and my little treat bag. I'm so glad you guys joined in, and I hope to see you again next week. I have a technique card I'm going to do next week for afternoon tea time and a card. Thanks so much for joining me, everyone, and have a good remainder of the week. Bye-bye.